It was a part of the history of the life of your parents and of a lot of Taiwan Americans.
Absolutely. It is partly my parents' story, but it's much bigger than that now. I mean, this story about the murder of a Taiwanese professor and that he's spied upon by his students, and those students are being hired by the government of Taiwan at that time. That is a story that many Taiwanese Americans suffered. My parents were on the Omiatua, the Heimingdang, as were many of my investors, simply because they called themselves Taiwanese, and they joined Taiwanese American student organizations. I mean, we take for granted now that you can call yourself Taiwanese, but that was not the case at the time. And many Taiwanese came together, and Taiwanese Americans, Taiwanese Canadians, Taiwanese came together to invest in this. But what's even more interesting to me is that although 3/4 of the financing comes from the Taiwanese American community, another 1/4 comes just from Americans, not Taiwanese at all. And you have to ask yourself, well, why would they invest? And the truth is that this story, the story of oppression, the story of injustice, and the story of identity is universal. You don't have to be Taiwanese. A lot of people ask, if you're not Taiwanese, why would you care? The answer is because the issues and the problems that this movie shows is stuff that anybody can relate to. I'll tell you one story. I was in Brazil showing the movie at the Sao Paulo Film Festival. And of course, and there are many Brazilians in the audience. And in the question and answer period, somebody raised their hand and they said, you know, this story is very similar to Brazil. We too were a dictatorship in the 50s, 60s, 70s. It too was supported by the US. We also had student spies. Like, he kept on saying all these things. I have that happen all over the country, all over the world. I had someone from the Ukraine tell me after he saw the film, he's like, this is what the Russians did to us. It's like, you know, the Russians invaded. Like, it's Chiang Kai-shek, it's like Stalin. You know? They feel very strongly. There are people all over the world, from South Africa, from Guatemala, from Brazil, from Ukraine, from Eastern Europe. I can go on
some
and
countries
on.
in Africa.
Everywhere, everywhere that understand this issue. I tell you, in the United States, we have 2 very strong constituencies for this movie outside of the Taiwanese American. One is African American, Black Americans. The other is Jewish American. You have to ask, why? Why do those 2 groups? Because they understand oppression. They understand people not oppressing them and taking away their identity and fighting for it. And that's something that, you know, obviously we see a lot of Holocaust films. Why do we see that? Is because the Jewish people have said, never again. Never again will we have another one. That's what they live by. That's what Taiwanese, we hope, will feel after watching this film, is that they will say, never again. Never again will we allow another country, another outside oppressor to tell us what to do.
You just said never again. 永远不要再来一次白色恐怖，永远不要再来一次228。这样的一个想法在台湾事实上是有的，尤其在中国这个军事强权这个站起来之后。但是你同时也讲了，这个电影里面有某种程度的 entertaining， 有一定程度的娱乐性。娱乐性，好莱坞跟台湾沉重的命运，这中间如何能够接得起来 ？Entertaining on the one hand, and the heavy fat of Taiwan, how can you put them together?
Well, I think at the end of the day, when you asked me who the audience was, we assumed in making this movie, you don't have to know one thing about Taiwan or Taiwan history. I mean, we literally, in the first frame of the movie, we talk about what is Taiwan, what is Formosa. That's the first thing. Then through this detective, who played by James Van Der Beek, the FBI agent. He's someone, he doesn't know anything about Taiwan. All he knows is that someone's been murdered. And through his investigation, he then learns about Taiwan. He could have gone to anywhere else. He could have gone to South Africa. He could have gone to Northern Ireland. He could have gone to Rwanda. Nobody knows. But this particular story takes him to Taiwan. That's what makes this film unique, is that it's the first Hollywood film to deal with Taiwan. And yet, we do it, and a lot of people walk out of the movie, I would say, when I say a lot, I mean, I would say a lot of Americans, a lot of Westerners walk out of the movie, and I think they first say, wow, that was really good. That was a very entertaining movie. And, oh, I learned something about Taiwan. It makes me curious about, to learn more. And I think that's our goal, is that if you walk out of this movie and you want to learn more about what happened, we did our jobs.
You have reached your goal.
We reached our goal.
Okay. 这部电影我知道本来是要在台湾拍的，可是后来没有在台湾拍，到泰国去拍了。为什么？
Well, you know, we wanted a lot of things. We wanted you in the movie.
I almost say yes.
We always wanted things. We wanted you in the movie.
我差一点答应。
I know, but we wanted you to play KMT. I know that was very difficult for your wife.
I want to kick KMT. I don't want to play KMT.
But the truth is, we wanted to shoot in Taiwan. We came to Taiwan in 2008, and we scouted Taiwan. We ran into some issues when we were scouting Taiwan. The first issue was, to be honest, look. Taipei, as you know, doesn't look anything like it did in 1983.
Too new for that, too modern for that,
It's completely different. It's been 25 years, almost 30 years. So the look was an issue. The second issue we were told was that the equipment we needed was the cameras, the lights, all that would have to be imported from Japan, Hong Kong, or Australia. And just to be honest, we were a small independent film. We didn't have that much money, and we wanted to spend the money on the screen rather than importing. So that was an issue, and Thailand had all those things. Thailand also, to be honest, looks a little bit more like Taiwan did in the 80s than Taiwan does now. And of course, we know more than anyone, this is sensitive political material. No one else has done this, and there's a reason. And we were concerned if, for instance, in the movie, the biggest scene is, in a sense, a recreation of the Meilitao, the Kaohsiung incident. We had over 1,000 extras in that scene. And we were just concerned if something happened, we were closed down or somebody decided to sabotage us, we just didn't have the money to survive that. And we just felt that that we'd be better off shooting in Thailand. Now, I understand a lot of people feel very badly that we didn't get to shoot here. I wish we could have. But I always say that this movie, it's not a documentary, okay? It's not anyone's specific story. This is just to give you a sense of what it was like. And it gives you people a sense.
Okay. Thank you. You said about yourself, you're small and independent, and that's Taiwan, small and independent and beautiful. 谢谢你。
谢谢，多谢，多谢，
多谢，多谢，多谢练习好，谢谢。